What's up?
Hey.
Hey.
Morning. What are we up to?
Job 20. We're in the 20s now. Job 20. 23, 24.
Oh, you're going fast.
Yeah, bro. This is the end of the second. No, I think actually we're on the third round, yeah. It basically means the whole time they're just calling Job a big sinner, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Job's
Nice
like,
friends.
I didn't do anything wrong. I think Job knows that, like, obviously he knows, like, everyone is a sinner. And he's like, I didn't do any, like, my heart is clean.
I have a few questions about that, actually.
All right.
I'm really sorry.
What do you got?
This night might not be good, but
Throw it out there.
so, like, why would he think that he is faultless in this? And in what way would someone be faultless enough to not deserve bad? And in what way would someone
It's facts.
know I do or don't deserve this to happen to me?
That's true. Like, if this was to happen to me, you might think, well, I'm a pretty prideful person. I'm kind of selfish. Maybe this is...
Maybe it's going
like,
to teach me something.
But is it because of the sin punishment, or is it discipline?
True. Yeah, we wouldn't think it's like, oh, God's so unhappy with you, he wants you to suffer. Like, we would think, okay, I'm doing something wrong and God wants to teach me and discipline me out of love so that I change and for my betterment because he loves me.
That's what we would think.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for Job, he wasn't... I don't know, he wasn't thinking. He was like, why is this happening? Because this is just bad. Like, it's not just like, oh, like, tap on the shoulder. It's like,
no, that's
destroyed
true.
his whole family. No one loves him
That's
anymore.
true. Because we would take for discipline anything bad happening. But if you imagine everyone in your family dying at once, if you can just imagine, then I think, yeah, actually, because we haven't gone through something as bad as Job. So, like, of course we would see it as God's discipline. But to that extent, would you still see that as God's discipline? I think
Like,
you would more see it as, like, a test of faith, like, not like, oh, this is good to happen because I need to grow in my faith, but, like, okay, even through this, if I can hold on to God and still believe and love him and trust him, that would be a true test of faith. But to think that it was necessary, I don't think you would think that it would have been.
Like, this is actually going to be better for me that this happened.
Yeah, you would just think, like, hopefully God can help me endure this, Yeah. It's wild.
That's crazy.
I don't think we can even imagine.
I know. It's hard to imagine. Because some people just suffer, like, their whole life. For Job, like, eventually he was blessed, at the very end, like, blessed more than he was at the beginning. Spiritually speaking, that's probably is the result of discipline. Like, the test you go through will lead to, like, spiritually speaking, like, more blessing at least. But
yeah,
oh,
that's true.
Cool. I think Job is starting to get the hint, though, like, a little bit. Like, in 23:10, he says, he knows the way I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. So he's like, in this kind of context, he's talking about he wants to meet with God for a trial to prove that he's innocent. And he's like, I can't find him. And he's like, and before this verse, he's saying, like, if I don't see him anywhere, if east, west, north, south, I can't find him. But he's like, he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. And that's like, in that trial, like, you have no idea where God is in this, but you just have to rest and, like, he knows me. Like, he knows the way I take, and this is like a test, and at the end
so
will come forth as gold. I guess more pure than before. Yet that just, more pure in faith.
Like, because, okay, I can think about my most recent trial, putting myself in this verse. In the trial, you do not know how this is going to turn out. how this is good. You don't feel good at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, great, you know,
Hmm.
God's teaching me. It's like, okay, I know God's teaching me. I do believe that it's going to be all right, but you do not feel that like that is in that moment necessarily. And to even just to see that, like, God knows everything about me, and he's testing me right now. And in the end, one day I'll come forth as gold. I'm not gold right now, and I don't feel like it. But one, like, just believing by faith, one day in the future I will come forth as gold.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's powerful.
It's how, well, like James 1 says, like, let perseverance finish its work. How it's like, it's not really us doing it. It's literally just perseverance doing the work, or like God is doing the work.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like I got to figure out what I'm learning right now. But if you just rest in the trial, in the test, like, you'll come forth as gold.
That's good. Yeah, because I think a lot of times too, I know I have, like, you're in the trial, you're trying to figure out, okay, what's God doing? What am I learning right now? But as soon as you do, like, rest in the fact that you don't know right now, you don't know, but you believe it's something. Then in the end, it comes forth, it comes to pass. You see it. You can see in the end the purpose. But it's okay to rest and not knowing it in that moment.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I tend to, like, I have to figure it out so I can learn what God's teaching me. Yeah. And that's okay too, to an extent.
It's true.
Because you do.
You seek the Lord for that.
You do, yeah, you do. But I'm saying, like, for me, it could become more of like a weight of, like, fear of missing it. Like, but the thing is, like, if you are seeking it and you're thinking about that and praying about that, like, God's going to show you. He's not going to let you just miss it because you didn't figure it out. Like, trust that he's going to reveal it to you.
For sure.
Because you desire that.
Yeah. That's cool. And sometimes it takes a long time, I feel like, to actually learn. I guess your heart has to be open to learning what he's trying to teach you.
I'm sure he'll teach you. He could teach you even if your heart's not open. Like, we know that because, you know, we mess up and we're bad. But it is true, too, because we know if your heart is open, that's like believing him by faith. And he blesses and honors that.
True.
And, like, if you're seeking him, he reveals himself.
Yeah. Even if it takes
so your heart really matters. But he can, It's so cool that he, like, knows our hearts, because I know I fail at everything, but knowing that he knows that I do desire to learn from him. Like, he keeps his promises and he does teach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The desire to actually learn is so good. Sometimes I was just thinking, like, I don't know, I was thinking this morning just about, like, when you're reading the word and you're just like, oh, I know what this means. Just like, yeah, like, this is because of this and that. But sometimes you don't just ask God. You don't actually, like, try to learn, like, what's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was thinking about that. So it's, learning and just having an open heart to learn is so good. And Job, the rest of chapter 20 and this little speech he has is, like, questioning just how like, the wicked people are prospering and the innocent people who are poor are just being oppressed, and it's like, why is God not just in that? And he's just kind of, like, you know, wrestling with that. And his kind of conclusion to that speech is just, while the wicked are prospering right now, like, God lets them, in verse 23, I like this verse, he says, I think verse 22, at the end, it's like, though they become established, they have no assurance of life. He may let them rest in a feeling of security, but his eyes are on their ways. For a little while they are exalted, and then they are gone. They are brought low and are gathered up like all others. They are cut off like heads of grain. It's just, the end of the road for the wicked people is, judgment. I mean, if you exalt yourself, you'll be brought low. It's just kind of how it works. But it's cool. I think it's like just to not like envy the wicked, just because we know, like the psalm says something about envying the wicked and how like, well, then I went to God's house and I remembered, oh yeah, this is their end. It's like, it's just good to think about, because the people that you esteem highest in society are like the rich people, successful. But then you gotta like go to the Bible and remember, it's like, oh yeah. It's like that. Those are not the people to look up to necessarily. It's the people that are maybe lowly, but servants of God. It's like, yeah, that's the highest position, in a sense. You need that reminder, I think.
We do.
So, yeah,
The world is loud, but that's why we have to go to the Word every day to remind them what the truth is, because the only truth there is in the world is in here.
Yeah.
So thank God for this, for His Word that He gave us to teach, so we can learn more about who He is and what the truth is.
Yeah.
But that's true. Yeah.
Well, we made it.
All right.
11 minutes. Good time.
All right, guys. See you next time.
See you next time.